So take your working yarn to the front. Let's work the first 5 stitches. Knit 1. As I knit them, I am going to move them outwards. Knit 1, purl 1. Again, we're moving them outwards to create that empty space that we need. Knit, purl, moving the stitches outwards, and knit. And now we're at the spot where we need to create that extra stitch. So it says to purl through the front and back. That's what PFB means. So purl the peg. Again, you're gonna purl it, but as you purl it, do not take the loop off the peg. Leave that loop on the peg. That new loop that you have made, place it on the empty peg next to it. You're simply going to E-wrap the peg in a counterclockwise direction. And make sure it doesn't pop off. Lift that bottom loop off. And you're ready to continue with your stitch pattern, which calls for a knit 1, purl 1, all the way to the end. And we finish in a knit 1. Row number 10. In this one, you are going to have 2 purl stitches together right at the center, which will be these 2 pegs right here where you increased. So let's get you to that point. So remember, you're knitting the stitches, knit the knit stitches, purling the purl stitches. We know that we finished that previous row on a knit stitch on the last peg, so we're gonna start on the knit stitch. So knit, purl, and this is the point where we have the 2 purl stitches together. So purl, purl, knit the next one, purl, knit, purl, oops, and knit. That's row number 10. We are ready for row number 11. We're almost there, and then you will know how to do all the increases. For row number 11, we are going to do a make 1 through the front, which basically, just like we did before, it was make 1 through the back. That one meant it was a purl stitch. This one, you're gonna be making a knit stitch between those 2 stitches right here that are the 2 purl stitches together. You'll need to create an empty peg right here at this point to create a knit stitch. So let's go ahead and do that. Remember, the easiest way for me, at least for me, to increase within the row is as I am knitting to move the stitches out. So that's the knit stitch. I move it out, purl stitch, move it out, knit, moving it out, purl, knit, purl, in here I did 1 purl. Remember, these were the 2 purls that were together. I need to create now the make 1 through the front, which basically we are going to create a knit stitch. To create that knit stitch, we are going to flip our loom over to find the ladder that runs from one stitch, from that stitch to this stitch. Once I have that stitch, I'm gonna pull on that ladder, I'm gonna rotate it, and I'm gonna put that loop on the peg. There we go. There. Now take the working yarn to the front of that peg, knit the stitch. That right there is a make one through the front, as called in this pattern. Next stitch is a purl stitch. Then we have a knit and a purl. Oops. Knit, purl, and we're ending on a knit stitch. Perfect. Great job. Row number 12 is simply to continue in your ribbing pattern. You finished with a knit 1, so start with a knit 1 because you're doing knit 1, purl 1 ribbing. You knit the knit stitches, purl the purl stitches. Oh, we're losing it, catch it. There we go. Putting it on. Knit, purl, purl, knit, purl, and the last stitch is a knit stitch. And right here, my friends, we have completed row number 12. You should have 13 stitches on your knitting loom right now. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. 13 stitches. You will continue to increase in this manner until your work measures about 7 inches from the cast on edge, from this edge right here. At the end of this, you should have 33 stitches on the knitting loom. So for example, you will repeat again from row 5 all the way to row 12. On row 5, you know that you have to go through the center stitch. So over here we have 13 stitches. So we need to go to the 7th stitch and remove this stitch marker and put it on the 7th stitch. 2, 4, 6, 7 right here. So that's where you increase. So let's take off that stitch marker for you. Perfect. And place it on the 7th stitch, which is the center stitch where you need to increase again as required in row number 5. And from there you will continue again increasing. I find it easy for me to keep the stitch marker with me and move it along. After row number 12, again find that center stitch and continue with the directions until you have 33 stitches on the knitting loom. We'll see you in part 2 of the video of creating the headband pattern. Thank you.